So that was the basics of the Widener-Harrisburg vlog experience, and then now on to some more detailed technical considerations. At the presentation for AALL 2009, the technical aspect of this program was given by Glenn Macbeth, and much of his knowledge was gained from his experience in posting a big chunk of the Global War on Terrorism program that Washburn did in 2008 up on YouTube in a series of probably close to 100 videos. First off, when you're creating a vlog or other video for web distribution, an important thing to consider is that the average user is doing many things in addition to clicking on play and watching a video. As you can see here on the screenshot, Glenn Macbeth at the time was chatting with someone, watching a video. He has a PowerPoint presentation running in the background, etc. So, having this consideration in mind, it leads us to shooting for YouTube. So how do you go about shooting your video for YouTube optimization? The primary lesson that us at Widener learned, and is indicated in YouTube best practices, is first off, zoom in on the action as close as possible. If you're zooming in on the person talking or on the object being featured, that's probably the best way to go about shooting small-sized videos. They call it shooting for the small screen. Number two, keep the camera as stationary as possible. Now, in the Widener effort, we're using a video camera and we're walking along doing a library tour, so it's not as if it was on a tripod or anything, but just take personal effort to keep the camera as steady as possible. And then number three, remember that regardless of how slick your video is, the most important thing about the vlog video you're shooting is the content. So make sure that the content is sound. People are much more impressed with good content rather than slick video production. Now, when it comes for editing the video for YouTube, a few things here on the screen that you can see to keep in mind. The most important thing to remember is to be consistent on the file format, the image size, all of these. Keep the format features consistent. Stick to the same format whenever possible. Number two, if you're going to be working on a project with multiple videos and a lot of things going on, make sure that you shoot in the highest resolution possible. That way everything will be similar, and you're shooting for the same common denominator of video resolution when it comes to getting it on the editing table. And then number three, use the editing features in your video editing program to adjust for such things as contrast and saturation and sound levels, but do not use it to adjust for framing and what is going to be displayed on the screen, which is going back to zooming in on the action as close as possible. And then we get to considerations for when you're uploading for YouTube. A few things to keep in mind. Is that YouTube limits your video to no longer than 10 minutes or 1 gigabyte of space. And while on the Widener project, we did use the default settings for producing the video on all three of the video editing softwares possible. On the screen, you can see there are some other considerations and settings that might optimize your video. So if you want to get a little more technical, follow some of these suggestions that you do see on the screen in terms of the video terms of the video format and the audio format and aspect ratios and the like. And then finally, briefly go over some of the advantages and disadvantages between high definition and low resolution video. Bottom line, high definition video, it's going to be slick, it's prettier, and it's going to show details much better. But it comes with disadvantages. Downloads are slow, it takes a lot longer to produce the videos, and you're prone to more computer errors because you're dealing with large file sizes, and your computer might freeze up from time to time when you're working on these things. In terms of low resolution, the obvious advantages are fast downloads for your library patrons when they're trying to view it. Plus, you only need a basic, inexpensive video shooting and editing equipment to make low-resolution images. And of course, the disadvantages are primarily the picture quality is relatively low. So, thank you for your time and attention, and hope to see you all next year at AALL. Thank you.